The Falcons prevailed in that game at Candlestick 39-34. Well, the temperature at the present time is actually 44, but they're expecting it to make it into the mid-50s. Here's the run back by Pegram, and just across the 20. Chris Miller comes off his sharpest performance in his 5-year career. Last week was 14 of 19, 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. Strong offensive line. Ken, Fralick, and Hinton have all been to the Pro Bowl multiple times. We have them starting out in the 4-receiver formation, the red formation, with Andre Rison, who plays well always against San Francisco. Jerry Glanville in his 2nd season coaching the Atlanta Falcons. Pat Chafee is the single back on 1st down. And Chafee runs it for about 2. It's a backup back. He'd only started one other game before this one. That was the opener against Kansas City. The San Francisco defensive line. Dennis Brown will start. Pierce Holt is inactive today. That knee injury still aggravating him. We'll see Kevin Fagan coming in off the bench today. The linebackers. Haley had 3 sacks last week. And in the secondary, a change. Rookie Merton Hanks from Iowa in place of Mark Lee, who is out with a toe injury. 2nd down and 8 for Atlanta. Now we see their 4-receiver formation. Miller off the mark, intended for Haynes, with the coverage by Merton Hanks. They threw on the rookie right away. Hank.
You know that Hanks is a rookie, but he's a very good prospect, and the coaches told me on the field before the game, and especially John McVay, the general manager, said that really had he not been hurt a little bit early and gotten behind, he probably would have been the starting corner for the San Francisco 49ers. So they have high hopes and expectations for him, and he's got good range. He's 6'2" and 185.
George Seifert selected Hanks in the 5th round of the draft. 3rd down and 8 for Atlanta. And again, same kind of route intended for Haynes. Hanks was in the area along with Todd Bowles. 3 downs and out for Atlanta to start the game.
The 49ers have been playing so well defensively the last few weeks, and they did a good job, I should say, the last couple of weeks of running the football, which is kind of uncharacteristic of them, especially the way they ran the ball last year.
Taylor waits for the punt from Fulhay. Taylor runs it back from the 32. And out of bounds on the near side 45. A 13-yard run back for John Taylor after a 44-yard punt. Good starting position for the 49ers. And Steve Young has been on target 80% of his passes the last 2 weeks, including a dazzling 18 of 20 against Detroit. There's his offensive line today. All healthy. Carter gets the start. We'll see a lot of Keith Henderson, who's been very active the last 2 weeks. From the 45, 1st down for the 49ers. Carter, good room into Atlanta territory and down at the 40. It's a 15-yard dash on the first play of the game for the 49ers. And we're going to be watching the Rice-McKyer matchup all day. Now let's check them out right away, Hank.
Well, here you see Rice on the outside. He's blocking downfield. Look, he stays with him and finally cuts McKyer, which is a great block downfield. You know, it's very difficult usually to get outside when you have a slot to that side, meaning 2 wide receivers. They did an excellent job that time on that play.
Harry Sidney's in the backfield for San Francisco on 1st and 10. Play action fake to him. Young looking for Rice, and a little too high for him.
I think one thing we'll see, we saw it on the very first play of the game, on the part of the 49ers. I think anytime that you play against a guy that's a good cover guy like McKyer, one thing he doesn't do very well is tackle and force. And I think they're going to try to make him tackle and force as much as they possibly can in this game this afternoon.
2nd down and 10. Keith Henderson has come in for the 49ers, and he runs the football for about 4. Tackled by rookie Mo Gardner, the nose tackle from Illinois, 4th-round pick, who has been outstanding the first half of the season. John Rady has returned in recent weeks after a knee injury kept him out for the first 6 games. McKyer and Sanders on the corners. Case and Jordan are the safeties. We'll call it 3rd and 7 for San Francisco from the Atlanta 37. Mike Sherrard has come in as an extra receiver. Young's pass almost brought down with one arm by John Taylor.
It looked like he wanted to throw the ball to the slot side, to the left side. Coverage was good, and he tried to. Then he came back to his secondary receiver, Taylor, but it was thrown poorly, as you could see.
Now the 49ers in their last 3 games against Atlanta have had 6 kicks or punts blocked. Joe Prokop is the punter. Shelley provided some pressure. Jordan makes the fair catch at the 15. So the Niners able to pick up 1 first down, but their drive shuts down in Atlanta territory.
There's a first time for everything. Your first love, first kiss, first date, first job, and your first new car. For more people, that first new car is Chevy Cavalier. A simple, solid value that'll get you through the changes until the next first time. The cars more people depend on.
That's today's Chevrolet.
It's stuck. You see?
Yeah.
Every channel. Light beer. Light beer.
Well, we're gonna have to drain it. Grab anything that'll hold beer. Oh, and call some friends over.
Will you look at that?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Miller Lite made beer better.
The great Pilsner taste keeps you ahead of it all.
Everybody likes that.
You don't say beer now, you say light.
The beer that beers become.
Miller Lite.
It's it.
And that's that.
You guessed it, Jill. Trout on a stick. Like all our new entrees, it's frugal, filling,
and convenient, too.
Bravo.
Do you ever wonder if airline executives actually eat the food they serve you?
Croutons.
Not just croutons, Jill. Dipped in oil. Jumbo croutons. Takes up lots of room in salad, saving on costly lettuce.
I like it.
At Alaska Airlines, our top executives eat our food twice a week because we won't ever serve you a meal we wouldn't enjoy ourselves.
Jim Nance along with Hank Stram. San Francisco and Atlanta each 4-4 on the year, although both teams have not been above the 500 mark at any point this season. One of them will climb above 500 today. Ball at the 14-yard line. Falcons' 2nd possession. Steve Broussard is now in the backfield. 4 receivers in all. The 49ers counter with 6 defensive backs. Broussard for about 6. He rushed for 100 yards in the first game against the 49ers. But the unique aspect of the 100-yard performance, it all came in the final 17 minutes of the game. Look at him, Hank. Home against away. He has rushed for only 13 yards at home, 240 on the road.
Chris Hitton did a good job of blocking on the defensive linebacker that time, Haley, number 94.
2nd down and 4 for Atlanta. Broussard again. Broussard will lose yardage this time. Hit first by Dave Waymer. 49ers 5th in the National Football League in total defense, and savvy veteran Dave Waymer made the play on that one.
They're getting good penetration and playing in the Atlanta's backfield. Very frankly, that defensive line and that time the safety, Waymer, they're really controlling the line of scrimmage right at this stage of the game, early stage of the game.
3rd and 5 with 10:40 to go in the first quarter. We're scoreless. Miller, look out. Sack time for San Francisco back at the 14. Ted Washington, a rookie from Louisville, got in on Miller.
Watch 97 on the right, the corner of your screen. You'll see him come in here. There you see him make the sack and get a piece of Chris Miller. Good penetration. And again, they're getting off the mark very well. And of course, reading the papers during the course of the week, they said they have spent a lot of time getting off the ball as fast as they possibly could. They're doing a good job so far.
Fulhage standing at the goal line. John Taylor will return. He's been fighting the flu this weekend. Look out, he's interfered with by his own teammate. Free football recovered by the Niners back at the 35. Rookie Merton Hanks, I believe, ran into Taylor after a 35-yard punt.
See, now Taylor's catch, it looked like he was at the last second trying to signal for a catch. And there the old routine of following the bouncing ball.
Mitch Donahue on the recovery. Hanks was more or less banged into Taylor by Elbert Shelley of Atlanta.
He was very close to Taylor, and as you mentioned, he gets shoved right into him. But the funny thing was that at the last second, Taylor was trying to signal for a fair catch. It was too late.
Timeout on the field. 49ers will take possession for the second time when we come back.
The Sony Trinitron XBR television. Simply brilliant.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going.
Alka-Seltzer's Laws of Indigestion. Law number 13. After a good party, any part of the body that can hurt will. For heartburn with headache, you need Alka-Seltzer because there's no law against fast relief.
It's not easy being a truck.
Like a rock, I was strong as I could be. Like a rock, nothing ever got to me.
But through it all, Chevy full-size has the best resale value in the business. Chevy trucks.
Like a rock.
The trucks you can depend on. The trucks that last.
Like a rock.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Chevrolet, the heartbeat of America, the cars more people depend on. Energizer brand batteries, nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going and going. And by Miller Lite, it's it, and that's that.
Well, this is the middle game of a 3-week road trip for San Francisco, having won at Philadelphia a week ago and next week traveling to the Superdome. Originally, this game was scheduled for Candlestick Park, but they had to switch dates on October the 13th because of the Braves' participation in the playoffs. Hank, a week ago, Steve Young only went to the air 15 times. The 49ers lowest output passing in 13 years, but it's only because they were so successful running the ball.
Well, I think that's a very important thing that they did last week, in that it shows the versatility of the 49ers. I think if you're going to win it all, you got to have it all. Last year, they did not run the ball well enough to get back into the Super Bowl. They're trying desperately to recapture that personality, and to think that they could run the ball against really one of the better defensive teams in the National Football League, the Philadelphia Eagles, for 137 yards was very impressive. And they kind of came away with the idea that they kind of played smash mouth football, which is not really their personality.
One of our guys is there for a hit.
Well, there's been a delay because the replay booth is discussing if they should perhaps change the spot, change the marking of the football.
I think they said initially the ball was not touched. I think it was touched. I think as we look.
50-yard line, it was first touched by the kicking team at the 50, subsequently recovered by the receivers here. First down from the 50.
All right, let's check it out. Did a Falcons player touch it first?
See, look at the bad signal for the fair catch. He gets.
Yes, it hit Shelley right on the shoulder pad.
It sure did.
So that, in all essence, down the football at the 50. And the 49ers have it for the second time. Rice in motion. We're scoreless with 10 minutes left in the first. And Dexter Carter, this time for about 2. Hit by Brian Jordan. That same sweep had netted 15 yards on the 49ers' first play from scrimmage.
You know, that play, they sent Rice in motion to the left, which brought McKyer with them in motion to the other side of the field. As a result, the force was pretty good. I think had they left McKyer on that side and Rice on the same side, they probably would have got more mileage out of the play, because he is not a very good force meter.
2nd and 8. And again, San Francisco will operate from the Atlanta into the field. Keith Henderson, wrapped up by Oliver Barnett, falls for about 3. Henderson rushed for 76 yards in that game against the Eagles and had a 100-yard performance, 104 yards against Detroit.
And talking to the players, they all indicate that he is really getting better and better and better every time he plays, and that's the sign, you know, of an excellent football player that he's supposed to be. He's going to be a good one.
In fact, his 100-yard rushing performance against the Lions was the first by the Niners since Steve Young rushed for 100 last December. 3rd down and 6. Young will tuck it in. Oh, and he clobbered as he picks up the first. Elbert Shelley.
Here again, that's the great thing about escapability. You have that kind of a situation. They were blitzing from the corner. A lot of gaps being plugged there, but he goes back into the pocket. Watch the penetration and watch right up the middle. They go beyond him, and he's very decisive. He doesn't hesitate at all. He sees the big gap right up the middle and takes advantage of it and runs up there and gets good yardage on the play. Had he not had escapability, he'd have been thrown for a loss.
Mike Sherrard is in the game for the 49ers. He's lined up to the right. 1st and 10. And it's Henderson. Off left tackle. Runs into a stack at the 35. Hit first by Rick Bryan.
When you play against a team like the Atlanta Falcons, they're very quick, very active, and very fast. Usually it's best to run right at the defense because they're not physically strong, but they react well. So you got to go right at them, and I think you get a lot more yardage going right at them than if you try to go sideways.
It's a 3-yard gain for Henderson, setting up 2nd and 7. From the 34 of Atlanta. Looking for Carter at the 10 with a flag down. He has it. Threw it right over the top of Ken Tippins, a linebacker, and a gain of 25. There are 2 flags on the field, 2 different locations. Defensive holding is the first signal.
Yeah, Steve walked away from us. Steve Young walked away from the official like definitely it's against the Falcons.
49ers.
Holding, number 35 on the defense. Penalty decline, first down.
49ers in a goal-to-go situation. And Tim McKyer is down at the moment on the field. Hank, check out the seams here.
Well, that's where he goes. He goes right down from the backfield with a linebacker trying to cover him. The ball is thrown beautifully right over the top. Watch McKyer on the other side with Jerry Rice, man-for-man coverage. He's going to take him regardless where he goes. He gets picked on the play. He was very shallow, and it's very tough to come across from one side of the field to the other and not get hit or entertained by those linebackers.
And he turns around and stirs it up even more with the 49ers as he departs. A lot of lip flapping going on this week, Hank.
Well, the massage of the gums pretty good all week long, I think. It's fun to listen to some of the banter that went on and off on the part of both people, especially McKyer.
First and goal from the 9. Bobby Butler has replaced McKyer. Harry Sidney, they like him inside the 10. He gets near the 6. Tippins and Tuggle on the tackle for Atlanta.
Here again, they run outside with the idea maybe of trying to cut back, but the way they pursue, they get there in a big hurry, and it's very hard, as I mentioned earlier, to run sideways with any great degree of success against this Falcon defense. Some kind of misdirection, a counterplay of some kind should be very, very good as this game goes along.
Hank, Brent Jones has just come into the lineup for San Francisco, having come off of injured reserve. The knee injury.
And you like to throw the tight ends in this area because they're big and they're strong, and there's a lot of traffic down there, and usually they're strong enough to hold on to the football.
Knocked down by Deion Sanders. They were going for Jerry Rice. Sparkling defensive play by Sanders, who's not 100%, Hank.
No, he isn't. He's got a bad muscle pull in his thigh. I'm surprised that he's really playing. We'll take a look at it. Man for man, bump and run. He had him licked. Had the ball been thrown sooner, it'd have been a touchdown. Waited too long to throw the ball to Jerry Rice.
Brent Jones goes out of the lineup. Sherrard to the right. Now a timeout called by the Atlanta defense. 5:58 to go in the first quarter. 3rd and goal from the 7 coming up for San Francisco.
Pretend your TV is a beer mug.
We're going to pour you a Miller Lite. Oops,
Sorry, foam down your carpet.
Now, tilt the TV towards you and taste why light is what beer is today.
The great Pilsner taste keeps you ahead of it all.
Everybody likes that.
Can we pour you another?
Hey, I know. Why not buy 6 more TVs and invite some friends over?
Miller Lite.
It's it.
And that's that.
I used to have dandruff, so I tried Head & Shoulders. Then I tried Selsun Blue. Blue is better.
Selsun Blue relieves dandruff flaking better than Head & Shoulders, and doctors recommend it more than Head & Shoulders, Denerex, and Tegrin.
Blue is better.
Selsun Blue.
There's something new, you're gonna love it. From KFC, it's called the Go Bucket. Pick any kind and you're gonna find at KFC, it's Go Bucket time.
KFC introduces Go Buckets. Choose from original recipe, hot wings, or extra tasty crispy. It's a whole new way to enjoy the Colonel's chicken.
Nobody's cooking like today's KFC.
Nobody's cooking
like today's KFC.
There's one battery that backs you with free jumpstart service anywhere, for any reason. Die Hard.
Can't believe I left my lights on.
Sears Die Hard. More power when you need it most.
Who's gonna back you better than Sears?
You're watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League.
Well, these two have played in shootouts the last 2 meetings. We mentioned the 39-34 Atlanta win first go-round. That was 3 weeks ago. 9 touchdowns in that game. The previous encounter to that was here in Atlanta last October, and in that one the 49ers came out on top 45-35. Looking for the game's first points on 3rd and goal from the 7. Look out. Jesse Tuggle comes blitzing in on Young.
He had great anticipation on that last play. The rhythm of the count. He got off to a good jump and got in the gap, and nobody touched him. Watch him right in here. Nobody touches him. He gets a free shot at Young. Young is looking to his right side, and Reedy didn't see him coming initially until it was too late.
Hank, that almost could have been ruled a fumble, but they ruled him down. Brian Jordan, in fact, picked up the football and ran all the way back across the goal line, but to no avail. Now Jordan has to hustle to get back onto the special teams side for Atlanta.
See, the one thing you got to do with the lineman, you got to protect inside. You got to clean up all the gaps. Somebody blew a blocking assignment because Tuggle got through there without anybody touching him at all.
Hank, check this out. Tell me if you think there's a chance at all. This could have been ruled a fumble. Did the ball come loose on the way down?
Well, here he is. He gets the tackle. No, his knee is down.
Okay.
Yep. No, his knee hit the ground. No question about it. He called it right. No fumble.
Timeout called by Atlanta. 2 timeouts used here in the last few minutes by the defense. Mike Kofor will come in for a field goal try of 33 yards. Prokop, the holder. Chuck Thomas will snap it. Kofor's kick is partially blocked. Totally blocked. And now that is 7 blocked kicks in the last 3 games.
You know, talking to Jerry Glanville the other day, he mentioned, I said, what's your work day been like? He said that yesterday was the final day, and I was at the office till 2:30 in the morning with our specialty team coaches and especially people talking about our specialty teams. We want to make sure that we don't leave a stone unturned. We blocked 6 kicks against the 49ers in the last 3 games. We're gonna get another one this week, and they did.
The reaction of Bobby April, the special teams coach, and the block came from Torrey Epps. He had 2 blocked field goals against the Niners a year ago in 1 game.
And here again, how anybody could get through the gap on a kicking situation. Everybody on a field goal should be blocking down. They take a step with the inside foot to make sure they seal the inside, to make sure that gap between the right guard and the center, or the right tackle and the guard, that's all sealed off. If they're going to block it, they got to block it from the outside. They didn't get it. They didn't get it done.
There is a flag on the field, and the conferring continues with Bernie Kukar and his crew. It's amazing to think that you can come into a game against a team the level of the 49ers, having had 6 blocked punts or kicks on them in the last 3 games, and get 1 in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's hard to understand. It really is.
Epps.
We have a situation. We had a blocked field goal. The field goal was recovered by Atlanta. The Atlanta player threw the ball forward, which is an illegal forward pass. It will be Atlanta's ball after a 5-yard penalty.
Darian Connor, I believe, number 56, tried to shove the ball ahead to a teammate, and that'll cost him some yardage. That's 56. Well, that play once worked for Kenny Stabler and Dave Casper.
Yeah,
can't do that, Bobby.
Yeah, they changed the rule after that, and he moved it forward like he had grease in his hands. He didn't have very good control.
Still, it's Atlanta football at the 32. Twice the Niners have had it in the opening quarter, and Atlanta's into the field, and they've come up with 0 points. Pegram is the running back.
They got to throw the ball here. They got too many people.
That's a good play action fake by Miller. Left all alone. Now comes the pressure, and he throws it away. Charles Haley came in on Miller, who could not find an open receiver, Hank.
No, he couldn't. And of course, that situation, you know, they're all up on the line of scrimmage. They have seven guys close to the line of scrimmage, which means that you're outgunned 7 on 5 or 6 on 5. And so that's the time you got to throw the ball. Great play action fake on the last fake by Chris Miller, but everybody was covered. Good coverage on the part of the 49ers.
Charles Haley, a career-high 3 sacks in one game last week against Philadelphia, but unhappy after the game. 2nd down and 10. It's Pegram, taken down by Bill Romanowski.
See, here again, that time the 49ers had 6 on 5, and it's very difficult to run against that kind of a situation. One way you can make yardage is to start one way, especially if you're in a deep position, and the pursuit goes in that direction. Then you can cut back and make some yardage, but running from normal formations, you can't do it.
Sold out in Atlanta, the 4th consecutive home sellout for the Falcons. 3rd down and 12. Under 5 minutes to go in the first. We're scoreless.
Cut.
Andre Rison at the 35 and fumbles it out of bounds, short of the first. Short of the first. Don Griffin on the coverage.
Haley had a good pass rush that time, but went beyond the passer, but he really got off the mark in good shape. Watch Haley tries to make a move. Hinton pushes him beyond. Jamie Dukes also pulls from the center position, gets a piece of him, but they want to make sure they handle him because he's a force as far as the pass rush is concerned. Charles Haley.
Falcons have not picked up a first down in 3 possessions. 3rd punt for Fulhaig. Their catch clearly waved high in the air. And at the 26, the 49ers will have it with 4:20 to go in the first.
When you've got something precious to carry, this is one way to do it. Here's another. Chevy Lumina Euro Sedan. Engineered with 4-wheel independent suspension and standard anti-lock brakes. It's one way to help make sure your precious cargo is delivered safely. The cars more people depend on. Chevy Lumina. Family Circle's Domestic Family Car of the Year for the 2nd straight year.
If your face were square, shaving would be simple, but your face has curves. You need the Schick Tracer, with a blade that flexes to put more of the blade edge against your skin. Tracer from Schick traces every curve on your face.
The Quick Finish Power Sander. To do as much as easily, your hand would have to move at 15,000 strokes per minute and be equipped with a handy on-off switch. The Quick Finish Power Sander, a powerful gift idea from Black & Decker.
Miller Lite goes to millions of parties a year.
These guys want to go to all of them.
Well, they can't stay long.
Everywhere you go,
everybody's drinking it.
Oops.
You don't say beer now, you say light.
Miller Lite.
It's it?
And that's that.
Each year, hundreds of people face danger, and each year, hundreds of lives are saved.
Jeff kept saying, I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
Rescue 911 Tuesday.
Jim Nance along with Hank Stram. First quarter action in Atlanta. Tim McKyer is back in, bouncing around for the Atlanta Falcons. He had 2 interceptions in the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds in the first game against the 49ers.
49ers have to start throwing the ball some on 1st and 10. They've run every time on 1st and 10 so far.
McKyer lined up straight across from Rice. Running play straight ahead with Henderson. lowers the head across the 40 to the 43.
We talked about that a moment ago. They tried to run sideways several times earlier in this game. That time they ran straight at the defense, and you see what a big gain they got. And watch the right side of the offensive line. Look at the push. The end goes up the field, which as a result, he creates a big hole. But that's what you have to do against a fast, quick, aggressive defensive line. You got to run at it.
Roy Foster helped clear the way on that one. 17 yards in all. Jerry Rice open in Atlanta territory. Working on Deion Sanders. It's near another first.
I'll be very surprised if we don't see them run and try to get up on top on Sanders with that leg like it is. Very obvious he's gimpy. He's not 100%. And they might try to do a little business on him.
And the Jerry Rice streak continues, Hank, with that reception. Second down and 1. Henderson looking for first down yardage. He has it.
We got to get the GLO.
Fancy haircut.
The glove part kind of grew out, but it's still there. We're going to get that glove.
MC Hammer. He has some of the Falcons in his latest music video, including Deion Sanders and Jerry Glanville. Was on the sidelines with them out at Phoenix a couple of weeks back. First and 10 for San Francisco.
I'm surprised they brought him back after that game.
Young, after faking, gets inside of the 40 to the 39. Run of 6 for Steve Young.
We get a shot at one-on-one. Rice. McKyer kind of delayed and then goes across the field. He was trying to use the umpire on the play a little bit as a defender.
Again, McKyer said this week, I have no respect for Jerry Rice as a man. He has no class. They're going head to head. Dexter Carter on 2nd and 4. Jesse Tuggle lost a helmet, but was in on the play along with Oliver Barnett. And a flag on the field.
Hate to belabor the point, but they're not going to get much yardage going sideways. They haven't so far. That team pursues and reacts. Some kind of a reverse, some kind of a misdirection play should be very effective against the Falcons the way they pursue.
10-yard penalty, repeat the down.
Holding on Harris. Barton backs the Niners up to the 49.
We'll see Barton. Yeah, he got a hold of 99, Tim Green. And that's what the holding penalty was all about.
Slot formation to the left. 2nd down and 14. Quickly over to Rice. McKyer jars him out of bounds.
And that's a good play. Rice was anchored on the left side that time, went in motion to the right. McKyer has to cover him man for man. As he's going across, he's trying to avoid the linebackers. As a result, he gets depth. And for that reason, you're able to throw in front of him just like they did on the last play.
Jerry Rice has made a career out of playing against Atlanta. 14 touchdowns in 12 games, including 5 on this field a year ago. 3rd and 9. Brent Jones has come in as a tight end. Henderson is the single back. Rice again. First down for the Niners. Tuggle in on the tackle.
It looked like that time they were in a zone defense. He just went across, ran a crossing pattern and came across the middle And there's a big hole there. You see him. Zone defense right there. He's open right in the middle of the zone, the heart of the zone. Scott Case comes up to try to make the tackle and misses, but Tuggle finally makes the hit.
That's the end of the first quarter, scoreless.
Some are legends, some are still competing, all are in their 40s. A 40-something field of PGA champions plays in the Amoco Intel Championship next weekend.
Maybe your first car shouldn't be a car.
I was 18, didn't have a care, working for peanuts, not a dime to spare.
Get this Chevy S10 EL pickup with cash back for around $8,000. Chevrolet, the trucks you can depend on, the trucks that last.
Like a rock, oh, like a rock.
It was a stupid mistake, but I was in a hurry. So when I finally realized my briefcase was gone, I knew I'd never find it. Worse, my wallet and cash, credit cards, and checkbook were in it, and I was out of state. Oh, for a friendly face. Thank goodness I bank at First Interstate. And thank goodness for Keith Frank. He canceled my credit cards so no one could use them, got me cash, and treated me like I was banking at home. Now that's extra mile service.
If you want extra mile service, come to First Interstate Bank. We go the extra mile for you, guaranteed.
It seems some cough medicines have improved just about everything. Except the cough medicine. Introducing a real improvement. New maximum strength Tylenol Cough. Tylenol Cough has 50% more cough suppressant than the leading cough medicine to give you up to 8 hours of relief. Plus Tylenol pain reliever for your sore throat. New Tylenol Cough. A real improvement.
Okay, here's Rice, and he comes right across that zone into the middle area, that hole. We'll take a look at it and see how it opens up. People are dropping back, responsible for their zone areas. He comes underneath. There he is, right in the middle of the field, right beyond the hash mark. He's open, makes the catch, and a nice gain on the play.
Starting the second quarter, first down from the Atlanta 34. Rathman with good yardage. To the 26, gain of 8. Three times with the football, the 49ers, and again they're in Atlanta territory each time, but they've failed to score to this point.
I'm really surprised that the teams haven't moved the ball better against each other than they have, and especially Atlanta. Atlanta hasn't been able to do anything, which is a great credit to the 49er defense.
Second down and 2. Rathman gets another carry. No gain.
Mo Gardner, boy, is he quick coming off the ball. He's not very large, but he's very fast and very quick. Number 67. Rathman had no chance whatsoever on the play.
Gardner alternates with Epps at the nose. Epps has had a big play in this one, a blocked field goal, blocked the 33-yard attempt of Cofer. Third down and 2 for the Niners. First down catch. Dexter Carter clobbered after the catch by Brian Jordan.
And here again, that's a good way to get the back outside. He went in motion from his halfback position, got penetration up the field, broke quickly to the outside. The ball was delivered right on time. He makes the catch. First down, 49ers.
Henderson is the single back. First down run to the 19. So far, the 49ers have picked up 7 first downs. The Falcons, none.
You know, that's the thing about the 49ers. You know, normally when you talk about the 49ers and think about them, you think basically of Joe Montana in the past and their fine offense. But basically, through the years, this has always been a very outstanding, a great defensive team, especially defensive line. And they're playing that way this afternoon.
2nd and 8. Henderson. Near a first at the 12. We saw MC Hammer earlier. They called Jesse Tuggle the Hammer. He was the one who bumped Henderson out of bounds at the 12. Tuggle is always the league's top tackler. Had the most tackles in the league last year, over 200. And he's ahead of that pace at the midway mark this year, Hank.
Yeah, and one thing about him as a linebacker, he plays very deep. Because when you play deep as a linebacker, you get a better view, plus the fact that you get better angles, and you get a better chance to get into the gaps and make tackles.
3rd and 1, San Francisco. Harry Sidney. No way. Tim Green hit him first in the whole black wave, as they call the defense in Atlanta. Came in to swarm him under, back for a loss of yardage.
There again, trying to get outside, Jim. Boy, it's murder to try to get outside against this defense.
Kofor will attempt another field goal try of similar yardage. The last one blocked from 33. This is a 32-yard attempt. Nine of 15 on the season. Oh, hit the upright, no good.
Aunt Gladys sends us a fruit cake every Christmas. She makes them herself.
Oh, it's just wonderful.
Oh, it certainly is.
Everybody always loves Aunt Gladys's fruit cake.
There's an unusual flavor.
Beef bouillon. Aunt Gladys says that's the way they used to make them in England.
At least one thing won't go wrong this holiday season. Tots.
No, I insist. Second helpings are a tradition at our house.
Make it special. Make it Tots.
The balanced vehicle, a philosophy that governs the applied technologies in the Cadillac DeVille. Technologies of computer-controlled V8 performance, of superior control through anti-lock braking and available traction control, and management of space, which creates the largest interior of any front-drive luxury car. The Cadillac DeVille, where substance takes shape, Cadillac style.
These 91s are here to remind you McDonald's McLean Deluxe is 91% fat-free.
No, we're not.
But you're all 91s.
Brain surgeon? Not. We're here because McLean Deluxe is 100% delicious.
With a Diet Coke, it even satisfies Big Jeff Wright. Right?
Right.
Right. It's 100% delicious. So why 91s? Then again, why not? The unforgettable taste of McLean Deluxe at McDonald's today.
Now the 49ers held the football on the last possession for 8 minutes. Come away empty again.
They should have at least 6 points and possibly 14. The way they drove the ball, they come away from both drives with nothing.
Some aid on the 49ers bench to Jerry Rice. Falcons take over from the 20. They've managed only 12 yards total offense to this point.
They got to pump it up here. They got, again, look at the people up front. There they are, throwing the ball.
Mike Pritchard ruled incomplete. They're telling him go on, take off. So Pritchard still races down the sideline. Now stops near the 20. He just rolled around. It was a smart play to get up and run with it if they had ruled it a completion.
And he wasn't touched. Now,
right.
Here again, Miller buys some time, gets out of the pocket.
Well, your opinion? Pretty close.
Yeah, very, very close. But the one thing about it, one thing about it, had his hands underneath the ball, which is so important. Whether it touched, I couldn't tell for sure, very frankly.
A timeout called by Atlanta. They have now used all of their timeouts in the first half.
This game summary is sponsored by McLean Deluxe.
Well, the Niners have amassed over 100 yards more than the Falcons. They missed 2 field goals. 1 blocked, 1 hit the right upright. Falcons still looking to gain their first down.
And the Falcons have had the ball 10 times. 12 yards total. Murder, isn't it?
And they've used all of the timeouts with 11 minutes to go in the quarter. Here's Kofer on his last miss. A little rush coming in from Bobby Butler. Hank, you were saying you didn't like the way Kofer set up for that one.
Well, I was just looking at him before he kicked, and I don't know how many times he kept looking at the goalpost. When you're anchored and set to kick the ball, you got to look at the spot, not the goalpost, and it looked like maybe that threw him off a little bit. I haven't seen him kick that much, but normally that's the process. Get lined up and then keep your eye down on the spot where the ball's going to be snapped to you. His attention might have been diverted a little bit because of the change.
Chafee in the backfield, 2nd and 10. It's Chafee for about 5. We're scoreless in this one, but we've got news elsewhere. Update time with Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Jim, at Chicago, it's a battle for the top spot in the NFC Central. Eric Kramer to Brett Perriman, 10 yards and a touchdown. Second quarter, 7-3 Detroit over the Bears. Jim?
I think a lot of people, Hank, still are disbelievers when it comes to the Lions. Many of them will look back at that game at Candlestick when they were chopped up by the 49ers 35-3. But a key win today in the Central. 3rd and 4 for Atlanta. Intended for George Thomas. And a flag down in the backfield. Thomas this week activated off injured reserve.
And they like his size, and he's got terrific speed.
We have tripping, number 79 on the offense. Penalty decline, 4th down.
Watch Haley. Look at double team. Dukes gets a shot at him as he goes by Hinton. They're running right by the quarterback, but that's how much respect and admiration they have for him. They're going to double team. They're going to block him. You got to block him to make sure you do, whether you do it with 1 or 2 guys, but you got to get it done.
So failing again to attain a 1st down. Fulhage's punt comes to Taylor. And good run back again. Not great, but picks up some good yardage. Excellent starting position on the next drive for the Niners.
The difference between a suspension that enhances performance at high speeds and one that can isolate poor road conditions at low speeds is a fine line. Now Cadillac combines both into one with speed-sensitive suspension. It adjusts automatically for highway, for city streets, or for spirited performance roads. Speed-sensitive suspension. Another way substance is taking shape, Cadillac style.
It took all day, but they finally came up with one very big idea. What do you bet they printed on a laser jet from Hewlett-Packard?
The temperature never drops below Xerex. That's very important to remember, especially at a time like this, when it's very deserted and very cold. Ah, you did remember Xerex Antifreeze. The temperature never drops below Xerex.
Something happens between the weddings and birthday parties. It's called the rest of your life. That's why we created America's most popular camcorder, the Handycam, from Sony.
American champions Tanya Harding, Todd Eldridge, Christopher Bowman, and Christy Yamaguchi give special exhibition performances on Olympic Winterfest next Saturday.
The Falcons and 49ers embarking on the second half of the season. Dead even so far, dead even record-wise as well. This game counts double, says Jerry Glanville. His team beats the Niners. They'll have a 2-game lead on them, really. There's an interception by Deion Sanders. Out of bounds at the San Francisco 45.
He's an amazing talent, Deion Sanders.
His second interception of the season. We've already chronicled he's not playing 100% today with a thigh bruise, but makes a great play here, Hank.
Top of the, look at it, bump and run, an inside pattern. It looks like they're playing a zone with a deep guy back there, but Sanders just comes right in there. Very tight coverage that makes the interception.
4 receivers in the game for the Falcons.
They're going to throw the ball more. Here they are.
Pumping it up, Hank. Sideline route. Intended for Michael Haynes. They were working on Merton Hanks. Hank, I said, Glanville talked about this game counting double, and the Falcons in essence having a 2-game lead on the 49ers. If they beat San Francisco today, yes, it would only be a 1-game difference in the standings, but since they would have then had beaten the Niners twice, it's really a 2-game lead on San Francisco. There's Sanders resting after the INT. 2nd down and 10 for the offense from the 45 of San Francisco.
Throw it again. They got to with the coverage. Oh, draw play.
Mike Rozier, only about 3. Haley on the hit.
That time they had 7 on 5. So I'm talking about 7 defensive people on 5 offensive people, and you got to be a Houdini to get through there making a yardage on that kind of a play against that kind of coverage and that kind of alignment.
Jerry Rice working on the right knee. 3rd and 7 for Atlanta with 9:25 to go in the first half. No score.
And they got to get the ball to Rison. They've only thrown 1 ball to him so far in this game.
Miller with all kinds of time. Now throws it in the direction of Rison. And knocked away by Waymer. I don't know. Miller may have been able to tuck it under and run for the first down. Jerry Rice is headed to the locker room. Miller is 1 of 8 for 11 yards.
And it looked like Miller really had a chance to run the ball himself and pick up good yardage on the play. Couldn't tell who it was. Looked like one of the 49er players. Might have been Waymer. Got a piece of him, try to hold him on the play.
Completion, wanting a penalty, but he doesn't get it.
Crisp, clean, Old Spice. It puts the wind in your sails.
I want performance. I want handling. So I probably want a European sedan.
Seville by Cadillac and the new dynamics in performance technology, where an electronically controlled V8 powertrain makes acceleration smooth and invigorating. and where a speed-sensitive suspension automatically retunes itself as you drive. The 1992 Cadillac Seville is here, and there's never been a car like it.
You know what's smart? This Magnavox digital CD shelf system that's incredibly powerful, compact, but what's really smart is this Magnavox 8mm Easy Cam that weighs less than 2 pounds. But what's really brilliant is this 13-inch TV with a built-in VCR. But what's ingenious is this 31-inch with a smart window that lets you see other channels and swap the picture. You know what's smart? This Magnavox digital CD... Again. Go away.
The ingenious products from Magnavox. They're smart, very smart.
They say when you have a cold, eat chicken soup. But did you know that eating certain foods may prevent disease? Meals That Heal starting Monday on CBS this morning. It's breakfast for your head.
Hank, what happened here on this last play?
Well, what you see, Rison is going down for the ball. Now he comes back for the ball, but in the process, look at Weimer. He gets a shove on him from the backside, and he should have been pass interference on a play. That's why we see the reaction of Chris Miller like it is.
.8:55 to go in the second quarter. No score. First down, San Francisco. Rathman comes into a bear hug from Tim Green.
You know what I can't understand? You know Sanders is gimpy out there in the corner. He's playing man-for-man coverage. I don't know why they don't challenge him deep. Make him run, make him stretch, see if that leg is really a bothersome thing or not. But they ought to find out. They haven't done that at all so far.
Report from the locker room, a bruised leg for Jerry Rice. Sanjay Beach is in the game for him right now. 2nd and 9. Really airing it out, and it's caught by Taylor. Look out! This one could go 97 yards. Deion Sanders chasing after him. He won't get him. 97 yards for John Taylor. Seven-yard stunner to John Taylor. Got away from 2 Falcons at midfield.
Then he rolls that way. Throws the ball downfield. Look at the coverage. Gets it between 2 people.
Case and McKyer. Kofor adds the extra point. Hank, you had made a point earlier that McKyer is not a very good tackler, and he got tangled up with teammate Scott Case. I know Jerry Rice was the one who wanted to burn McKyer today, but John Taylor, 97 yards is a 49ers record.
You see McKyer on the bottom of the screen. There's the shot. He really is. Yeah, he's really, as far as getting beat is concerned, he wasn't. He was right with him, but he gets bumped a little bit with Case. And, of course, the rest is history. He goes all the way for the touchdown. He gets a step. Taylor gets a jump on it. It's over.
Even with Sanders coming after you. Well, his longest play of the season prior to this one had been a 54-yard touchdown in the first game against the Falcons, but now he tops it with the longest pass play in San Francisco history. about that? 7-0 Niners. Coming down to Pegram at the 9. Able to twist his way near the 20. Greg Cox was the first man downfield to make contact.
Pegram a little bit that time, a little bit of indecision. Right or wrong, you got to make a cut and you got to go after it. That time he danced a little bit. By the time he got through dancing, why school was out.
The Falcons have had the football 5 times, and all 5 times it's been 3 downs and out. Steve Broussard is the single back. Miller with the red formation, no red gun, just red formation under center. Haley coming in from the backside, ball's in the air and picked off by Romanowski. Haley came in from behind to throw off Miller. The ball was batted in the air. Romanowski with his first interception of the year.
Watch now, 94. Watch Haley on the outside. Hinton trying to block him on the play. He speeds rush right around Hinton and gets the quarterback. The ball bounces up in the air. Romanowski intercepts it.
Kevin Fagan tipped it, Hank. Fagan, who has not played the last 4 games with an ankle sprain, he set it up. And on 1st and 10, the running play to the 6. Henderson with the carry.
Haley can really fly off the ball. He's in that 3-point stance. He looks like he's in the starting block the way he gets out of there to rush the passer. Hinton is a very, very fine tackle, but he ran right on the outside of, right around the corner.
There's Fagan. We're glad to have him back. And he makes the big play on that one. Tips it in the air, setting up Romanowski. 2nd down and 6. Niners can pick up the 1st down inside of the 1. Henderson straight forward near the 1st down.
You know, that's only the 2nd or 3rd time they've really actually run straight at the defense, and they've made good chunks of yardage on each occasion.
Sapolo and Barton helped lead the way on that block. So far today, twice inside the red zone for the Niners. A blocked field goal and one that hit the upright on the right side. 3rd and 1 from the 2. They have to get just inside of the 1 for the 1st down. Rathman and Henderson in the backfield. Connor comes in and sacks Young. Darian Connor.
They're running no play action, just rolling that way. And Young doesn't have a chance in the world. Connor, number 56, is blitzing on the play, gets into the backfield, gets penetration, forces him to change his route. Now they have to kick a field goal.
Kofer, his kick from 32, no good. Kofer's pitching an 0 for 3 today, all inside the 40.
Sports and Science Converge, brought to you by AT&T, sponsor the '92 U.S. Olympic team. A quarterback must have great field vision to avoid mistakes. A unique new system can now record a quarterback's exact eye movements for later analysis. You'll see it in a moment.
Because AT&T knows that there's news to share, and times to remember, and plans to be made, and stories to tell. Now you can save even more this holiday season. 30% off calls for 2 full months from 5 to 10 p.m. for Reach Out America plan customers with an evening discount. There's never been a better time to be with us. If you don't have Reach Out America, call now and get 30% off. Only for you, only from us.
At Texas A&M, a camera mounted on the helmet records a quarterback's field of vision, while infrared sensors trace the actual eye movement. Coach and player can then identify exactly where the eyes are focused.
A true driver's car in a luxury coupe? Sounds to me like you're talking import.
The Eldorado Touring Coupe by Cadillac. In the fraction of a second it takes to depress the accelerator, you'll acquaint yourself with the surge of its V8, the adaptability of its speed-sensitive suspension, and reacquaint yourself with the pleasures of driving. The 1992 Cadillac Eldorado Touring Coupe is here, and there's never been a car like it.
Now the 49ers have scored on the longest play from scrimmage this year and the longest pass play in 49er history. 97 yards to Taylor, but we have a quarterback change for the Falcons. Chris Miller is on the bench and being talked to by the medical crew. And Billy Joe Tolliver comes in, the former San Diego Charger quarterback. Miller a bit dazed, and so is this man. 0 for 3 is Kofor. Here's Broussard running it. We're about 4. Billy Joe Tolliver, in his 3rd season from Texas Tech, was traded to the Falcons on August the 28th. Traded for a 5th-round pick. He did not get along with head coach Dan Henning at San Diego. He had been a starter, 19 starts in his career for the Chargers, but the Chargers made a decision. They wanted to go with a rookie, John Freeze, or a first-year player, I should say. Freeze was on an injured reserve last year. So Tolliver was sent packing. And Carter comes across and makes contact.
In Billy Joe Tolliver's situation, they liked him very much as a leader. They liked him as a guy. They just didn't think he was accurate and consistent enough. I talked to Bobby Beathard a year ago during the course of the season, and he said they're going to take a long look at him last year and make a decision whether he's the guy they want or whether he wasn't. This year they made that decision. But again, he's a great competitor, big, strong guy, and but that's been a knock at him. He hasn't been accurate. Last week, however, he was 5 for 5.
2nd down and 1 after the penalty. 1st down, Broussard fights for another couple. Johnny Jackson on the solo hit. It's a doubleheader day for you on CBS. Then coming up after this one, New Orleans against the Rams. Many of you will see that one. Some will check out the Cardinals and the Cowboys. Hey, the Rams are trying to snap a 7-game losing streak against NFC West opponents. They're all chasing the Saints in the West. And you'll see action coming up in the 2nd half of our doubleheader.
And talking to the Atlanta Falcon coaches today, they indicated on the field they thought that probably the New Orleans Saints were finally, at this stage of the season, the best team in the National Football League. Quite a compliment.
Romanowski almost comes up with his 2nd interception.
He's a very underrated player, Romanowski. He does the run well, the pass coverage well. He's a consistently strong performer. He's looking downfield. Watch him jump. Watch him jump. Get a piece of the ball. But he's really done a terrific job for the 49ers and doesn't really get an overabundance of recognition. But he's a good one.
On the previous play, the run by Broussard for the 1st down, the Falcons gained their first down of the game. 2nd down and 10. 4 minutes to go in the 1st half.
Here again, they've got to throw the ball with that defense like it is.
Tolliver. Well, I don't know where that one was headed. Jamie Dukes was in the area, so was Broussard.
Billy Joe that time looked like a screen pass, but watch his feet if we get a shot at it. He does a little shuffle there, trying to decide where he's going to throw the ball and what he's going to do with it. Watch it. Goes back in the pocket and watch his feet. See, bounces, bounces, bounces. He's not quite sure. And then he finally throws the ball. But anytime you see a quarterback do that, you know there's a little indecision on the play.
3rd and 10.
They got to do something with Rison. They've only thrown one ball to him.
The draw to Broussard. They'll lose yardage. Dennis Brown, the first man into the backfield. Waymer came up along with Tim Harris.
He got 6 against 5 and 7 against 5, so much of the time it's almost impossible to run against that kind of an alignment, Jim. You got to throw the ball. And if you have confidence in your passing game, it doesn't make any difference where you are. You got to pump it up and throw the ball.
The returner for that is actually Sanjay Beach. That is not Taylor. That is Beach waiting for the return. Good punt by Fulhag. Hit it sideways, and it's near the 50. Let's see. They'll say actually back at the 49ers 42. Only 26 yards on the punt. Three minutes, 13 seconds to go in the second quarter. 7-0 San Francisco. Henderson and Rathman in the backfield. The receivers are the backups, Sanjay Beach and Mike Sherrard. So Taylor is out right now. Henderson dives for only a yard. Cut under by Torrey Epps. There's that defensive front for the Niners that's allowed only 1 first down in this game. Second down and 9. Slot formation to the left. Henderson and Rathman are the running backs. Out of the backfield to Henderson. Spin move to make the first. And he gets to the Atlanta 41. 16 yards as he spins away from Tuggle.
And you don't spin away from Tuggle very often either. He's a good tackler.
49ers could possibly run another play before the 2-minute warning, but they won't. They'll now just let it run down. Young will have a visit with George Seifert during the 2-minute warning. 7-0 49ers.
A company can learn a lot in 125 years. Valvoline has. You learn in the lab, you learn on the road, you learn on the racetrack. As you learn, you make your product better, and better, and better. Today's Valvoline will keep your engine cleaner than ever before, and cleaner means more protection against engine wear. 125 years of quality. That's why people who know use Valvoline.
I have Denorex on this side. As soon as I put Denorex on my hair, I felt like the itch was going away.
What does the Denorex tingle tell you?
The tingle feels like it's taken away the dandruff.
Extra strength Denorex with conditioners has strong medicine to fight dandruff and its itch, plus conditioners to leave hair healthy looking and manageable.
The Denorex tingle tells me it works, and I see that it works. I have no dandruff, and I have no itch.
Denorex with conditioners, the dandruff shampoo you can feel working.
You! You made me love you. You made me want you.
You know you want the luscious taste of McDonald's Big Mac. Add fries and a Coke for a deal that's irresistible. The extra value meal at McDonald's today.
You know you made me love you.
it's been a physical game, Hank, today. Jerry Rice is in the locker room right now with a bruised leg. There is Chris Miller, the Falcons quarterback, on the bench, still dazed, having been replaced by Billy Joe Tolliver. We're hearing now that it was a shot to the ribs for Miller, who told us coming in that his ribs were sore all week. They wouldn't bother him in this one, he said, but another hit aggravated it. Pass a little too far away from Rathman.
You know, another thing we got, Jim, Elbert Shelley is playing over for Deion Sanders on the right corner position. I would sure give him a shot, see how well he covers, especially something deep. The other thing that would be a good way to get to him would be he's lining up like it's man-for-man bump and run coverage a lot of the times, then backs off. You want to go on a quick count and try to run down the field and get one on him. It'd be worth trying.
John Taylor is to the left. Sherrard to the right on 2nd and 10. Comes underneath the coverage to Sherrard. He's about a yard shy of the first. .149 to go in the first half.
And Sherrod comes into the game with 10 catches and averages about 16.2 per catch. Impressive.
Sanders has returned to the defensive huddle for Jerry Glanville. Elbert Shelley is out.
I'd go after Sanders. Just see how he runs.
3rd and 1. Sidney with a flag down from way back in the secondary area. Sidney had the first down yardage. He was sliced by Tim McKyer. And it's going against San Francisco. Kukar signals a holding penalty against San Francisco. Did not activate his mic, so he can't tell you the culprit, but it's 3rd and 11. 49ers with 3 receivers in the game. Pass intended for Brent Jones. The coverage, Bruce Pickens, rookie first rounder.
That time they had a double coverage on Taylor on the outside, trying to protect and give Sanders a little help.
Prokop will punt to Brian Jordan. Jordan will let it go. And a nice play downfield to down it at the 7-yard line. Antonio Goss with the play downfield to bury him at the 8 after the punt by Prokop.
Here's a coverage on Taylor. The last time you see Sanders is on the line of scrimmage like it's going to be bump and run, but he lets him go. There's somebody behind him. Is double coverage. The guy you're going to hit there is a tight end coming across or the back. And even Sherrod that time was going down on slot on the left side, had a chance to be open on the play.
So with sore ribs, Miller is out. Tolliver is the quarterback for the Falcons. 1:30 remaining in the first half. No timeouts for Atlanta. They burned them all early. Broussard in danger of losing yardage, and he will. He'll lose a yard. Kevin Lewis finally got him. It could have been even worse. Coming up at halftime, we'll send you back to New York, get all the updated information. That Houston-Washington game today and Detroit against Chicago. Greg Gumbel and Terry Bradshaw with the scores and the highlights coming up on the Dockers halftime report. 7-0 San Francisco, a score that could be much worse from the Atlanta side, Hank.
Yeah, you think of all the, the movement they have had, the 49ers up and down the field, and they're only one play ahead so far in this game. Just one play.
2nd and 12, and Tolliver on target to Rison. Short of the first at the 16. It'll be 3rd and 3. Don Griffin on the coverage. Andre Rison has had big games against San Francisco. Had 2 touchdowns in the game earlier this year and went over 100 yards in the 2 games in 1990. So far today, however, only 2 catches, 20 yards.
And talking about big games, Mike Ken, 8 games, has not allowed a sack. Done a terrific job. He's playing like an all-pro lineman so far this season.
3rd and 3. Tolliver flushed out of the pocket. Tries the shuffle pass. Tried to get it over to Broussard, but Romanowski was in his face. Got a piece of it.
Here we see Griffin covering Rison. Going to the inside. He's with him step for step. And, of course, I think probably on the 49er defensive secondary, why you'd have to say that Griffin is their best defensive back.
1:11 to go in the 2nd quarter. Full Hake's punt backs him up to the 35. Here's Sanjay Beach. Oh, what a special teams block on Elbert Shelley. Harry Sidney crushed Shelley. 5-yard run back by Beach after a 49-yard punt.
Look at the special teams play now. Watch this. Running to his left with the ball in the wrong arm. Look at that block.
Oh, man.
Boy, what a fantastic block that time on Shelley.
Harry Sidney. Sidney delivered it.
Boy, did he give him a shot.
That shot could be heard all the way to Sydney in Australia. First down, pass to Rathman, and they go out of bounds to stop it with 53 seconds to go. The 49ers have scored 5 touchdowns this year in the last 2 minutes. One of the touchdowns in the last 2 minutes started on a drive that began with 5.5 minutes to go in the half. But you just knock it down actually to opportunities in the last 2 minutes. 4 touchdowns. 2nd down and 6.
Playing a zone, and they got 3 timeouts, something over the middle or something to a back. Here he is. In that kind of a situation, you want to go to the tight end when they double cover the outside, especially with zones. They double cover the outside people. The guy that's going to be open is your tight end or one of your running backs coming out of the backfield.
Rathman did a nice little step down the sideline to pick up enough for the first down. First down just inside the 50 with 46 seconds to go. And the Niners have all 3 timeouts to work with. Sherrard to the left, Taylor to the right. Here comes Shelley from the backside. Jordan also puts pressure on Young. Completed the pass to Don Griffin, who was looking on about 10 yards deep in the sideline. Defensive man. And the last time the 49ers last Super Bowl season, the season of '89, they scored 11 times in the last minute of the first half. That's why that statistic is rather interesting. They have a similar pattern going so far this year. See if they can add to it in the final 42 seconds. 2nd down and 10. Young for about 5. Green and Tuggle put the double whammy on him. It'll be 3rd and 5 for San Francisco. The Niners have just burned their first timeout.
Imagine a rent-a-car company that offers special delivery right to your door. That's Enterprise.
Here, let me help you.
Enterprise, a special rent-a-car company that gives you special delivery.
At Braun, we believe even if you're not at your best in the morning, at least you can look like you are. Braun, the world's #1 selling foil shaver.
Jerry Glanville drove his 1950 Mercury James Dean Special to the ballpark today because he won with that last week against the Rams. Put away the van, Hank.
Yeah, the van he put in the garage and locked it up. They've never won.
Never won.
Never won a game when he's driven the van to the game. So that's ancient history.
3rd down, 5 to go, and look at him running it. Young easily has the first, and McKyer delivers a shot on the sidelines.
And that was a design play. Both guards pull on a play, leading interference for Steve Young.
What did you think of the McKyer hit on the backside of it, Hank?
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Here's Young. Here's McKyer.
Oh, it wasn't that much of a deal. No, just pushed him.
Just a push. A tender little push at that.
Young has rushed for more yards than the Falcons have in the first half. 1st down and 10 for San Francisco. 28 seconds to go in the half. Actually able to gain a yard off of that busted play. Looked like he had trouble getting the snap away, pulling back from the snap.
Yeah, he didn't have control of it at all. Finally captured control of it and got the ball outside.
Mike Sherrard with a 1-yard reception. 23 seconds to go. A year ago here at Atlanta, Kofor kicked a 56-yarder at the end of the first half. It was a San Francisco record. He may be called on again, same site at the end of the half and try to snap out of the first half blues. 2nd down and 9. Connor coming in on him. Tippins on the coverage of Brent Jones.
You know, you talked about Kofor. It's a big mistake. You know, when a kicker misses a couple of field goals, somebody's got to go over to him and remember that he's going to have to kick another field goal possibly that might decide the outcome of the game. You can't just let him stand over there or sit over there by himself. Somebody, one of the coaches, somebody's got to go over there and encourage him and get him mentally prepared. Tell him, listen, you can't win if you can't forget. So forget that what happened on the last play, on the last kick.
3rd down and 9.
Ooh, what a hit.
Big hit from behind by Darian Connor. Short of the first. 10 seconds to go in the half. Niners call the timeout. They'll bring back out Kofor. And Young's a little groggy.
Boy, he's been taking some shots, but he's tough. Talking to Doug Shively, the defensive coordinator, before the game, we were talking about personnel. He said, what about that Young? Is he something? He's amazing.
He's shaking up.
Yeah, he got a shot in the back. Watch this shot here. Cuts back inside. Look at this shot he gets from the backside. Really got hit low and in the back high.
4th attempt of the half for Kofor. He has missed from 33, 32, and 32 yards. This one will be a 47-yard try. No good again. There is a flag on the field. Holding against the Niners.
Holding 96 on the offense. Penalty refused. First down the other way.
Well, he comes into the game 9 of 14 on the season and finds himself by the half 500. 9 of 18.
Look at George Seifert on the sideline.
5 seconds to go in the half. Atlanta lined up in a shotgun. Halftime with the Niners leading 7-0 on a 97-yard play to John Taylor. $75 yards for a half, Hank, is huge.
Oh, it's tremendous, but the only thing that matters is the score, and they're very much in this game if they can generate any kind of an offense in the second half.
Carter swarmed under at the 19. Now, you remember at the end of the half, Steve Young was shaken up when he was tackled from behind? Well, we're looking on the field right now, and we saw Steve Bono warming up. He comes in for Young. 6'4" quarterback. 7th year from UCLA, has thrown 3 passes this season. All came in action against Detroit. He's 3 for 3 in that game. Henderson, the single back, gets the run. Lyles in pursuit, along with others. Mo Gardner, and a flag on the field.
Well, they start off with a good play. They ran straight ahead. And picked up a little yardage. As we talked about it, hate to be repetitive. Penalty against the 49ers, but I hate to be repetitive, but we talked about the fact that running sideways is not going to get the job done. Running at him is going to do the job along with the passing game.
Bono's pro career has taken him from Minnesota to Pittsburgh to the 49ers. He joined the Niners in 1989. Originally a 6th round pick of the Minnesota Vikings. 1st and 15. And the down clock ran out on him. Back him up to the 10.
I saw Bono in a preseason game. Jim and liked him. He was very impressive in the game that I saw him play.
Well, he joined the Niners in '89 and played in only 1 game. Last year he did not play. Was still on the roster. 1st and 20. Pump fake by Bono. And now through the hands of Rathman. John Rady on the coverage.
And that ball was thrown above shoulder pads, a little high, which is a very tough ball to catch. And the other thing is you have to be very, very careful when you throw that kind of a pass in the middle of the defense, because if you throw it high, it's going to bounce off somebody just like it did and almost was intercepted. It wasn't. If you throw it low enough at the numbers, if it hits, it's going to fall down instead of go up, so you don't have to worry about the interception.
Second down and 20. Young has come back now to the sidelines from the locker room. There's Bono flinging it long. That's got to be interference. And they get Sanders, and he'll head to the sidelines as he's limping.
See, that's one thing that really surprised me here this afternoon about the 49ers. You know he's got a bad wheel and he's got a flat tire. Why they haven't tried to throw on top of him more to test that leg, I don't understand, really. And there was an illustration of it right here. He's hurting. He shouldn't really be playing. He's aggravating that injury.
Tell you what, Hank, if he doesn't interfere, though, with that bad leg, Taylor could have had another long one.
That's right.
That could have been a 90-yarder.
Exactly. He did what he had to do there to prevent the big play. But again, he was late. And the farther you run, if the farther you make him run, the worse it is on that leg.
Sanders now comes out of the game. He is out of the game. Shelley replaces him. And Jerry Rice is back in for the 49ers.
Now I'd give Shelley some business as soon as I could, too.
Ratman for about 3. Here is the injury report on Steve Young as we now see Sanders out. The report on Young is a left knee strain. No report if he will return. The Niners did not have any information on that. But a left knee strain suffered by Young at the end of the half. 2nd down and 7.
Let's go, guys.
Gets away from Connor and incomplete near the 50. Scott Case really took out Jerry Rice across the middle.
Yeah, you were across his face. You better be watching where you're going because he's going to give you a shot.
Look at this. Ooh. In fact, went to the head area.
Yeah, and that ball was thrown so far up above. Had no chance whatsoever, but he gave him a little massage in the back of the neck.
Scott Case, we saw this team in week 3 against San Diego. They were 0-2, and Scott Case said, we don't need to get panicky around here because we're solid. And they've come back to win 4 of 6 since that time.
Look at all the people up on top there. You got to get the ball up on top, get protection.
3rd and 7. Rice. It's away for the first. Broke away from Bobby Butler.
He read that defense very well that time and changed the play, it looked like, or had a safety valve. But he got the ball out there where it had to be thrown, and they pick up the yardage for the first down. Yeah, he's got a lot of business this afternoon. Rice, 7 times they've thrown to him, and he's caught 4.
Got a lot of business off the field, too, Hank. Having to go to the locker room and nurse the bruised right leg. 1st and 10. Henderson running the sweep left. And no gain. John Rady. John Rady's a man they're glad to have back on defense at Atlanta, number 59. He had been on injured reserve until the 7th game of the season, out with a knee injury. Probably not the same right now, not all the way back, but he's a big boost for them.
Yeah, he's like a motorcycle cop back there patrolling those sidelines from side to side. He's got great quickness, good lateral speed.
9th year in the league, a man who was once cut by the Boston Breakers of the USFL. They couldn't use him. 2nd down and 9. Too high for Carter. (7-0) San Francisco. 11:30 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Both starting quarterbacks have been knocked out of the game. Steve Bono is in now for Steve Young.
Watch him on the sideline. He's a little gimpy. I'm sure if there's any chance whatsoever, they're going to keep him out of this game.
3rd down and 9. It's got to be a procedure penalty against the Niners. Start, legal procedure. And I'll back him up into a 3rd and 14. Bono is 1 out of 4 on this series.
Again, as I mentioned, they ought to take a shot up on top with Taylor on Shelley over there and see how he's going to cover.
long as Rice stayed in the locker room in the first half, I never expected he'd be back into action today.
I felt the same way. I thought it was adios.
Slot to the left. Rice is to the right on 3rd and 14. And another illegal procedure penalty coming against the 49ers. All start.
Number 79 on the offense prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty.
They had a 3-man rush that time. 3 guys rushing and 8 dropping off to protect the pass.
Well, it just goes to show you how a team can get out of sync once you change quarterbacks. They got a delay of game penalty and 2 false starts on this series, Hank.
Yeah, it makes all the difference in the world.
Young really looks gimpy.
Oh, he does.
Yep.
Yeah, he looks like Chester walking around out there.
3rd and 19 for the 49ers. Can't be serious. 3 in a row. This one is a delay of game penalty.
They're going for a record.
Will the clock operator please put 11?
I tell you, they better be careful because they don't get something done here. This Atlanta team will have to steal this game after all. 1 play. That's all it is. 1 play from being back in this contest.
It is now 4 5-yard penalties on this series against the 49ers. And they face 3rd and 24. 3rd and 24. Brent Jones. Well short of the first after a 12-yard gain.
Yeah, that's a high percentage kind of a pass, but the thinking in that situation is we're going to run the ball or throw something this high percentage so that we're not going to get ourselves in trouble, and whatever yardage we make we'll be in a better kicking position with better field position than we had before. And hopefully maybe somebody miss a tackle or somebody fall down and you wind up making more yardage than they actually did.
Tim McKyer, Hank. Tim McKyer flattened on the field right now. He went down earlier in the game and set out a couple of plays. But it didn't look this serious at that time. The first go round. Watch that. His own teammate, Hank. His own teammate, I believe, will hit him here. There's McKyer. End on Jones, and at the last minute.
Oh, yeah, he got speared at the last minute.
By Jesse Tuggle.
See, he overruns the play, grabs him from the backside. Now watch Jesse come in and get him right in the head. That's what it looked like.
Anytime you see that kind of reaction, too, in the head, the neck area,
very concerning.
The silence has fallen here. And right by the Falcon bench, McIver has, what, 4 members of the crew around him. Timeout on the field. We'll come back with the latest on McKyer.
celebrate the 21st century a little early. Introducing the all-new 1992 Toyota Camry. We just couldn't leave well enough alone.
Let me just cut in here with news about a pretty exciting non-alcoholic brew. See, it doesn't matter if you're a log cutter or a dog cutter. You're gonna love a Coors Cutter. It tastes like beer because it's brewed like beer. Thing is, Cutter's special yeast doesn't produce all that alcohol. So whether you're a stud cutter or a spud cutter, a Coors Cutter goes down smooth and easy as you please. Nothing cuts it like a cutter.
McKyer has been moved to the bench. Hank, I think the lights went out on that hit from his own teammate.
Yeah, thank goodness that's all it was.
Punting situation for the 49ers. Prokop.
And you always have to look for a block anytime they're rushing a kicker.
Jordan lets it bounce around, and it'll come inside the 20. Spotted at the 15.
We get another shot of McKyer getting hurt. He overruns the ball carrier, tackles him from behind. Now watch Tuggle, number 58, come in and give him a shot accidentally in the head area. And I think that's what happened on the play. I think he was just kind of knocked out, stunned momentarily. But seemingly he's okay now.
Tolliver is the quarterback to start the second half for the Falcons. Their first possession of the third quarter. Trailing 7-0. Mike Rozier with the run for about 4. Rozier is another player, Hank, that's playing less than 100%.
Yeah, he's been hurting, but Jerry Glanville loves him. He said he's a tough guy. He's the toughest guy he's ever been associated with. He said he ought to be the heavyweight champion of the world. I guarantee if you hit him on the chin, you never knock him out.
Rozier has a knee injury. Some suggested that he should have an operation. He says, no, I'm playing out the year. They train his knee 3 times a week. 2nd down and 6. Here he is again. Fighting out to the 24. About a yard shy of the first, running into Romanowski.
And Romanowski gets the last shot. He's trying to knock the ball. He's trying to knock the ball loose, even after he was lying on the ground.
McKyer confirmed now a concussion. That was rather obvious. Concussion suffered by McKyer. A yard. The Falcons are 0 for 7 at 3rd down conversions today.
They had to run left here. Look at the big gap on the left side on the left tackle.
There's a run with Chafee, and he, on second effort, picks up the first.
Had he hit the hole properly to begin with, he'd have got through there easy. He hit over the guard instead of the crack between the guard and the tackle. And had he hit between a guard and a tackle outside there, he'd have made the first down and then some.
Chafee has the first down. Bill Fralick is out now. He will not return. Fralick in the first half suffered a dislocated elbow. Mike Ruther is playing at right guard now for him. Rozier running into Dennis Brown. Hey, we've got an update. Let's go back to New York. Greg Gumbel, take it away.
All right, Jim, at the Metrodome, Vinny Testaverde has thrown his 3rd interception of the day. This one picked off by Mike Merriweather and returned 22 yards. The Vikings scored 2 TDs in 58 seconds. They lead the Bucs 14-6 in the 3rd, Jim.
Terry Allen scored the other Vikings touchdown, 14-6 in that one. There's Mike Ruther, started the year as a backup center, has started now some games as a tight end. Here's a mishandle on the snap. Ruther having to fill in at right guard. A recovery by the Falcons. This guy plays everywhere for him, Hank.
Well, it's tough. And of course, the other thing that's a handicap for this Atlanta team is the fact that they really are out of tight ends. Ruther, as you mentioned, has played tight end some, but if they wanted to go to their two backs tight end system that they like to use and have done well with in the past, very, very difficult for them to do that. So that's why they're playing and using the red gun so much this afternoon.
Their tight end, Normal's tight end, is Gary Wilkins. He's on injured reserve. 3rd down and 7. It was Hoover with the recovery on that last play.
Here they come after him.
They pick him up. Now Tolliver able to get it away in the area of Rison.
We take another look at Haley on Hinton, number 75 and 94. Watch this. Haley coming. A kind of a power rush. Pushes off. Normally he doesn't do that. He gets a half of a person, not a whole one, and tries to go outside the outside shoulder or inside shoulder. It's a lot easier to make a sack that way than to try to go right through somebody like he did on the last play.
A little pressure on Fulhaig that time. Sanjay Beach from the 36. Only a 2-yard run back. Good coverage downfield by Pat Chafee. 7 minutes and 5 seconds remaining. 3rd quarter. Niners with the only points.
Well, look who's here.
Little Caesar's Cheeser. Not 1 but 2 pizzas with extra cheese, up to 4 toppings, and free crazy bread for $8.98.
Cheeser. When regular drills hold you back, send in the new Ranger cordless drill. It goes anywhere to handle all the tough jobs. No strings attached. The new Ranger cordless drill, a powerful gift idea from Black & Decker.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus to relieve your cold and cough at the same time. New Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and cough medicine in the purple box. 2 kinds of relief from only 1 medicine.
When her car needed a new battery, you got the heavy-duty model. When the tires started to wear, you spent a little more for the good ones. And even though the brakes could have made it a while longer, you said replace them. And now that fall's here, you're using Prestone Antifreeze. Its patented formula exceeds every performance standard set for the antifreeze industry. For corrosion and freeze-up protection. Prestone, we make it better than we have to. For some very good reasons.
American champions Tanya Harding, Todd Eldridge, Christopher Bowman, and Christy Yamaguchi give special exhibition performances on Olympic Winterfest next Saturday.
Well, the sun has come out in Atlanta. Temperature around 50. Jim Nantz along with Hank Stram. We're glad to have you with us. Tim McKyer with a concussion in the 3rd quarter. On the sideline and replaced by Elbert Shelley. 1st and 10 for the 49ers. Keith Henderson for about 4. Well, this is a doubleheader day on CBS, and coming up next, the Saints will travel to Anaheim to take on the Rams. Most of you will see this game. Jim Moore and his team 7-1, thanks in a large part to the play of Pat Swilling. 3-game lead in the West. Pat Swilling has been sensational. Some say he's a #1 player in the league so far this year. The Saints and the Rams, some will see Phoenix against Dallas. And yet another injury on the field on that last play.
I don't think I've ever seen so many guys go down in one game as I have this afternoon.
This is the ball carrier on the last play, Keith Henderson, a product of the University of Georgia, coming back to Georgia soil. Watch him on this play, Hank. What happened?
Well, he cuts back into the hole and gets hit as he's falling. He got hit in the back with a helmet. That's what happened. They spun him around a little bit, and they got his back turned, and he got hit right about the same time. Here we see another shot of it going through the hole. And watch right in here. That's when he gets it from Bryant, number 77.
And Henderson hobbles to the sidelines. 6:41 remaining in the third quarter. Only points of the game on a 97-yard touchdown pass from Steve Young to John Taylor. But Young, since that time, has gone out with a strained left knee. June Jones talking on the sidelines to Billy Joe Tolliver. Jones, the offensive coordinator for the Falcons. Young watches as Steve Bono is the quarterback at the moment. 2nd down and 5.
Look at all the guys. They got to change the play and throw the ball.
Quickly over to Rice. And he sticks the head down and picks up the first down right over Deion Sanders. June Jones talking now with his new quarterback since Miller is out and looking at some of the pictures from upstairs, some of the formations.
He's done a great job with this run and shoot. Probably one of the very best in the league. We got a bump and run. See, there's another time. You got to take advantage of those situations where you got 1-on-1 on the right side.
Carter to the short side on 1st down, able to get up a couple of yards. But for a minute, he might lose yardage.
Sanders is back in the game playing the right cornerback position again. He's in bump and run. You got to challenge him, and he's still gimping, just going back and forth from the huddle.
This game sold out in August. A game for the 49ers. Then they had to switch the date because of the Braves run in the playoffs. They were supposed to have played here on October 13th. They switched that site to Candlestick. That one was 39-34. This one's 7-0. 5 minutes left in the third. 2nd and 7. Bono's pass floating on him and still up in the air. Picked off by Jordan, who laterals to Sanders. John Taylor jars him with the shoulder tackle. Sanders and Rice bobbled it downfield for what it seemed like about 10 or 15 yards. Jordan got the interception and pitched it back to the man with the speed, Sanders, although he doesn't have all that speed today.
There's Rice, and look at Sanders, gives him a bump. And the ball is thrown on the outside instead of where it should have been thrown on the inside. Watch Sanders. The ball is in the air. It bounces up, finally intercepted by Jordan. Jordan tosses it back to Sanders. And I don't think he saw Taylor. He ran right into Taylor.
First interception of the year for Brian Jordan. Tolliver sticks in the pocket, completes it to Rison for about 7 or 8. John Taylor made one of the better hits of the day, didn't he, Hank? You said Sanders didn't see him.
I don't think he saw him. Look, he runs right into him. Look at that.
Who?
With a shoulder. No tackle. It just gives him a shot with a left shoulder.
Lifted him right off his feet.
Looked like he had wings.
Second down and 1. First down and more. Mike Rozier to the 46.
Yeah, that's his specialty, running straight ahead.
Jamie Dukes helped clear the middle for him, Hank.
Jamie Dukes has had a terrific year at the center position, and also Hoover, the left guard. He hadn't had a sack all year. Look at this. Look at Dukes get the block right at the point of attack, and Rozier does the rest with good straight ahead running.
13 yards for the Falcons, their longest play of the day. 1st and 10. Rozier into Fagan. And Tim Harris. And only 2 yards. Tamaris had a fumble recovery last week against the Eagles. Menino came over from Green Bay just about a month ago for a #2 pick in '92 and a 2 or a 3 in the '93 draft. 2nd down and 7. No call. You heard someone yell out, he's all over him. Dave Waymer made the play intended for Mike Pritchard. Waymer broke it up.
We get a shot here of Mike Ken, the outstanding offensive tackle. Look at him working on Harris. Stays in front of him. That's what you have to do. Stay in front. You got to keep the defensive linebacker or end between you. You got to stay between the quarterback and the rusher. That's exactly what he did.
3rd and 7 for Atlanta. Tolliver with great protection. His receiver comes back for it, but may have come back too far, short of the first. George Thomas. Going to be a yard shy, Hank, a yard or less.
We keep talking about it, but you've got to remember they're just one play away from being back in the game. You say 7 points, you get the mistaken impression sometimes there's 7 plays. It isn't. It's just one play. And it's a miracle that they're still in this game the way they play this afternoon.
And they're going for it. Jerry Glanville is going for it on 4th and a yard. Joe Tolliver gets the crowd to its feet. And the Niners look across, check the formation, and call a timeout. Minute 49 to go in the 3rd. Atlanta looking for its first points.
Hey, Richie.
Searching for the perfect shave? Let Norelco show you what it's like from the inside. Here, there's a system for a close, comfortable shave that exists in no other razor. Our patented lift and cut system lifts the hair so when it's cut, it can actually drop below skin level without the blades even touching your face. So to look better on the surface, remember, Norelco shaves below the surface. Norelco, we make close, comfortable.
Some people perspire.
We sweat.
The only protection for us?
New Ara XX Sports Scent.
It's the only leading sports solid that doesn't leave a white flaky mess.
New Ara XX Sports Scent helps keep us extra
dry.
55% of business people travel to big cities. That's why we created Holiday Inn Crown Plaza. Big city amenities with Holiday Inn warmth. Stay with someone you know who really knows you.
With a 2,510-pound payload, a 5,000-pound towing capacity, and a powerful V6 engine, the 1992 Toyota one-ton pickup might just surprise you.
Do yourself a favor. Before you go grocery shopping again, watch 60 Minutes. They'll tell you something the food companies would just as soon keep to themselves. Tonight.
Seven 0 49ers, but the Falcons have the football at the 45 of the Niners. 4th and 1. Rozier is the single back.
That's an illegal formation. Look at the right side off the ball. They should call that.
Rozier stumbling on the exchange on the handoff, but still able to plow forward near the first. Rozier was losing his footing as he took the handoff, and he scrambled for a yard. It'll be necessary for a measurement